Hey everybody. So I want to take a moment here and talk about an ed tech called Padlet. Now, Padlet is a fascinating program that allows students to post their ideas digitally, and through a link, everyone can see these ideas being posted. So when I think about Padlet, I think about using it in terms of a parking lot idea where students can post questions that they may have about a unit, or as an exit slip that will allow them to kind of showcase what they learned that day. It could also be used at the start of the class as a do now to either check for understanding from a previous class's work, or maybe if you want them to demonstrate what they might have learned previously, so like prior knowledge. So there's a lot of different ways to use it, and that's just under one feature for the wall. There's different features as like a timeline or a map or through like a canvas, that shows connections and things like that. So there's multiple ways, and I highly recommend that you take an opportunity to check out each one. But what I'm going to show you today is going to be the use of the wall, which is the most common one that I use in the classroom, and a lot of my colleagues use is just the wall where students are just posting to it. So this is the page that you go to when you go to Padlet.com. And it's very easy. You can sign up for free. There's different levels, different programs available, depending on what your district or you specifically are willing to pay for. The free version typically allows up to 5 Padlets to start with. You can use more Padlets if you're willing to delete older Padlets, or if you upgrade to a different program or a different type of membership. So this is the login page. I already have one made, so I'm going to go ahead and click login. And logging in is so easy. You can just sync right to Google, Apple, or with Microsoft, or you could log in with your email address, however you do it. But for me, I've set up through my Google, so it's really just 2 clicks and I'm in. And I'm going to use my school account since that's the one I use. And this will open up right to our dashboard right here. Now, as you can see, I already have 6 Padlets I've used, and it tells me the last time I used it. So I used this one like 4 months ago. I used this one last year, about a year ago, and so forth and so on. And I just want to tell you, like for this year, at the start of the school year, I like to ask my students what their goals are, whether it's in this case right here, what are your goals for 7th grade social studies? So I'm just going to show you what the Padlet looks like. Again, this is a wall function, and it's the title, 3 goals for 7th grade social studies. And then I'm able to provide a quick little description. 3 goals you have for yourself this year in social studies. It can be academic, social, or topic based. And then we can see which student put down what. And I made a little model example for my students so they had an idea what we're looking at. And it has the names right here of the students. I know who said what. So I said my goals were to create a unique learning experience, have students work towards meeting their potential, and learn something new every day. Those are the goals I have for my students. And then my students, put their own goals. Again, I specifically said it could be academic, social, or topic based. And Tyreek said he wants to finish all of his work on time. He wants to get an A+ in the class. He wants to show that he's working hard. And now he says he wants to learn something new this year. He wants to make new friends and, again, work hard. So these were just the goals. And again, this wasn't necessarily an academic base. When we talk about like that social emotional learning, or when we talk about, goal setting, especially, given that the population I work with is special ed, so we are always discussing about goal orientation and setting goals and meeting goals. And then ultimately for any student, whether it's special education or general education, is this idea of goal setting and accountability. So real fast, if I wanted to add something to the Padlet, right down here is a nice little addition sign, plus sign. You click there, and I could put, my name, Mr. P's goals. I can write something fantastic. I can say my goals for this demonstration is, oh, I spelled something wrong. One thing I love about all these programs is that it lets you know when you have a spelling error. I know for me, I always panic over about spelling something wrong in public. So that's something that students don't need to be worried about. Like it provides that confidence that they need. So my goal for this demonstration is to provide information on how to use Padlet. And that's it. When with that, I can hyperlink something in there if I wanted to. So let's say if I had, I can upload a link, upload a file. I can do a video recorder. I can put a GIF. I can put a YouTube video. There's so many things that you can do. You can do Spotify if you want to put music in there. So students even have the flexibility to add media to it, which is awesome. So if you're doing an exit flip or you're doing like a final conclusion on a project, you want the students to upload it. I know just the other day I had students in my writing class and they had to do a book review of who they thought would be the Northberry winners. A play on Newberry, but Northberry. When they looked at the books, they had to put the cover of the book on it, the title, the author, and a quick summary. So they were able to use various medias on it. So it's just a great way to do. So those are just some really cool ways. So once I'm done, I can hit publish and it'll appear right there. So if I made a mistake, students can go back and edit and then update it. So maybe they don't love it altogether. They can open post, edit post, copy, transfer, duplicate, or they can delete the post if they're not happy with it. So they do have that flexibility. As the host of this, I can delete any of the posts that I want. So if I went to say Betsy wrote something that was inappropriate, go there, I can delete it. 1, 2, 3. So, you do have some control over what's being posted so you can avoid inappropriate things. So that's to that. So let me go X out of that, go back to my dashboard. So let's go ahead and make our own Padlet. So I make a Padlet. Again, these are the different options that you have. A wall, pack content into brick layout, shelf, stack content in a series of columns. So you could put a topic. I think like for science, let's talk about something. Let's say it's towards the end of the unit. I could put the different body systems out there. So I could say the circulatory system, the digestive system, all these systems. Students can comment in each individual one. The map, if you want to use like a map of the world and put pictures on things, about animals in particular biomes or in different habitats. There's a timeline, so you can show a timeline. I think next year I might use a Padlet for a timeline as an introductory project that I do with my students is a personal timeline. So I might have them kind of put their own timeline together using that in the grid. So we're going to use a wall, and some of them starting my Padlet. They like to give little fancy things here and there. So this is the place where you can set things up. So the title is whatever I want to be. It's going to be a demonstration. Oops, spelled it again wrong. I'm really struggling with my typing today. Demonstration Padlet. Description. A tutorial on how to make a Padlet step by step. And then I have my address unique. I can copy that to my clipboard. So I'm going to do that right now. Appearance, if I want to, I can change the color of the wall itself. I can use solid, gradients, text and patterns, pictures. And it has preloaded one, St. Lucia. I laugh at when I see St. Lucia is a place that I've been to and I really enjoyed. So I decided to put St. Lucia back there, hit back. So you can kind of color it or theme it to what you're looking for the wallpaper. It tells you the font sizes if you want to change to what it looks like. New post position, where does the new post appear? So new post can go to the front of it, to at the end of it. Reactions, grade, star. So this is where you can set up a like. You can vote up and down if they like it or not. Give a post 5 stars. I can give them a grade, max grade, whatever. So I typically like to do like. It's just easier. I don't like to vote because it's a negative component on it, especially on like exit flips or things like that. When I have students, referring back to it. And then that's it. So I hit next. And that's it. I'm all set to post. So I can start posting. And again, just like I mentioned, we can go right down here, click on it. Now, the one thing I do recommend is if you're a Google Workspace school, you're using your Google, you have the students log into their Google accounts. So that will automatically put their name attached to any of the Padlet posts that they do. But if you are looking for them to do things anonymously, which I've done in the past, you don't have them log in and it'll be anonymous. So it so it hides who they are, who they're writing, or what they're saying. So it depends, on some flexibility in what you're looking for. So let's say I want to do my first step, write something. First step, log into Padlet as the teacher. And I hit publish. And let's say, oh, I really like that idea. Click on it, boom, hearts. Excellent. Let me add another one. Second step, create a Padlet by selecting your format, publish. And as you can see, because I selected it to be the first, it went to the front of the Padlet. And this is kind of like the way you would do it. Now, let's say hypothetically, I'm going to open up a new tab here. I copied the URL. I usually post the URLs directly into my Google Classroom for them, or when I was full virtual with my classes, I would put them into the chat, and you would just click on it, and it will open straight up to the Padlet. And then all the work that has already been done is going to be there. So that is, essentially how you work Padlet. Again, I love using Padlet as a do now and an exit slip, but there are other ways you can be creative with it. As I mentioned, I did a Northbury or Newbery play on for my students to select a novel or a book that they've been reading that they think would be worthy, award-winning. So there are definitely different ways you can use Padlet. Also, if you're leading some type of professional development, if that's your role, maybe if you are involved in as your IT specialist or your ed tech specialist or coach or tech coach, you may want to use Padlet as a way to get feedback. And what's nice is, as you can see, I had a Padlet that I made 2 years ago and I still have it. So you definitely have, that type of flexibility. So I look forward to hearing any feedback you may have about this work, and I hope that you enjoy the opportunities you have about using Padlet.